just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Arkansas's defense right now is hurting, losing Andrew Catalon, and I don't know the timetable for him to return to the lineup, but he's a fantastic safety, very, very talented safety, and you're seeing those issues without him there. Max Johnson's okay. Like, he's very mid. He's better than Haynes King, but for him to make some of those plays and some of those throws, and Anais Smith to make those plays for Texas A&M in that game, like, that's concerning, as you're talking about. Like, why would we be confident in Arkansas secondary to perform well enough to stop Alabama, albeit with a depleted receiving core and less options?
Arkansas they're not fast enough starters. They're just not. Missouri State almost took them down. Okay. They woke up and said, hey, it's Missouri State, FCS carryover. I'm not hating, but it is what it is. Look, it's Missouri State. We need to take over. They had a punt return touchdown. They started to put the locks on the game. They can't have that happen. They need to score on their first drive if they want to hang with Alabama. They need to stop Alabama on their first drive, or else that steamroller is just going to keep on moving down the field. That's what Saban has this team moving like. That's how this entire coaching staff and all their what do they call them? Analytic assistants. What is a dummy from the Texans?
Analysts,
team analysts that take these weird jobs with Alabama that just help out. Is just another bright mind in that facility. So I like Pittman. I like what they're building there. It's just not fully built yet to beat Alabama.
Yeah, and the weird thing that just becomes really hard to figure out where the receiving production comes from, because like you got Roydell Williams, you've got Jamarian Miller, Jace McClellan. Like I don't have a lot of confidence in Alabama's receivers. That's what comes down to it for me, and why I'm not that I'm worried about Alabama. I think Alabama has every capability to dominate in this game. But if you play a relatively effective job in coverage, it makes it easier to slow down Alabama's offense. The one thing that then counters that is Jahmyr Gibbs looks fantastic right now.
Yes.
He's playing at the Heisman level, almost up to that Heisman level that I suggested he could play at playing at Alabama. And I think if you get a good game out of Jahmyr Gibbs, that's what happened with Devon Achane last week for Texas A&M. He popped off. He had a bunch of long runs. He had really good production. And they won that football game behind him, not Max Johnson. So if Jahmyr does the same shit, comes out, plays a really good football game, it's lights out. It's night over for Arkansas.
Okay, so here's the question I have to pose to you then. Does Alabama win by 17.5 points? Do they win by 18?
Is that what the line is right now?
That's what the line is right now.
Really? That's the line
18.
right now?
It was 20 versus Texas.
I know it was 20 against Texas, and the thing that makes it really complicated for that is that, like, here's my counter question to you. Is this the same Alabama team?
I posed a question. Wait. You cannot counter question a question.
Yes, I can. We're having a discussion. Is this the same Alabama team that we watched?
I still need your answer, by the way. I'm
going to give my answer.
Okay.
I'm going to give my answer. Is this still the same Alabama team that we watched play against Texas?
Yes. It's still Bryce Young that's going to make some ridiculous plays to edge out a win in the game.
But, okay, so then by that logic, Alabama's not going to cover.
But Texas has not been the same Texas team since that game.
Right,
that was a career game for Texas. Not a career game. That was the best game Texas will play all year.
I don't disagree. I completely agree with that statement. So for that reasoning, I think that this game could be closer. Not saying that it's going to
be the best game that Arkansas plays this year.
I think every time anyone plays Alabama, when you're a ranked SEC team, your best game is always going to come against Alabama or Georgia. It's always going to come when you need to step up. They're not going to just take it. They're not going to just
think they played their best game in week 1 versus Cincinnati. That's what I think.
They played like shit, though, against Cincinnati.
That's the best game that they played.
Really?
I do not think... So now, answer my question. Does Alabama cover 17.5?
It depends on a lot of things, but I'm going to sit here and say no. I'm going to say that I don't think Alabama covers 17.5. That's a lot of points to cover against Arkansas. And I understand that Alabama's defense is really good and they're capable of causing problems. And right now their secondary is playing at a very under-talked about level, albeit against some pretty weak teams. It is going to take a lot to win by 17 points. Like you would need a disastrous day from KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders, I think, is a little banged up. And if you don't have him, you would need a disastrous offensive day for that to happen.
What if Will Anderson has a big day? 2-sack day, couple of pass breakups.
Then they're covering. If the defense comes to play, but it would require.
That's one player on their defense that already got you to flip flop your decision.
Because he's the best player in the country.
Okay, if you say so.